first one that I've ever had. It wasn't that bad. Mostly just tickled. They told me to show up, don't eat anything or drink anything after midnight. And then I peed 3 times this morning. And I need to pee a little bit more, but I really don't have to. And I have like nothing in my bladder. I'm gonna be put to sleep. I've never done that before, so I'm a little nervous for that. I've been up since 3:45 a.m. to drive here, and it is now like 8. Haven't had anything, no coffee, no food.
I think that I'm going to hiding somewhere by a gated star. Baby, they ain't never gonna find me. I'm a renegade. I could be the one who saves you from this hard place. We could be as one and we'll escape. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside me. Take away the pain, we can go insane. I can feel it, it burns inside me. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside me. Take away the pain, we can go insane. Trust me, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. Yeah, I won't let you down.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I was not expecting to be filming this video, so it's kind of filmed a little bit backwards. As you can see by the title of this video, I did get surgery. Surgery sounds like such a serious term, but I mean, I was put to sleep, so I think it was something that was gonna be a minor thing, but it was surgery. So anyways, and then I did film everything that I could possibly film at the surgery center. I didn't film the consultation because I wasn't expecting to be told that I was going to be put to sleep for it. So this was originally not even going to be a video. It was not going to be something that I even mentioned that I got done, but I figured because it was the first time that I was going to be put to sleep for something and I went to an actual surgery center, I don't know, maybe this could be an interesting video. If you don't know, quickly, I'm moving soon. I sold all my rugs and my dogs are walking around and you can probably hear their little toenails. Sorry about that. So I went to the specialist on a Tuesday and I saw the doctor for maybe 15 minutes, and then I go talk to the scheduling person and she tells me it's fully covered by my insurance. I'm like, all right, cool. In my head, I'm thinking I'll get this done in Florida after we move because there's no way they're going to schedule me before I move. And when I sat down and talked to the scheduling person, she was like, can you come in on Monday? And I'm like, in like less than a week? And she's like, yeah, can you make it in on Monday? Can someone drive you here and watch after you for 24 hours because you're going to be under anesthesia and you won't be able to drive? And I'm like, oh. So when I got there, I did my very first COVID test, which was very interesting. They didn't actually stick it up that far. It just really just tickled mostly. So after the COVID test, they made me change and I had to wear a gown and these hospital socks and a hairnet and my mask. And I'm like, wow, this is actual surgery. And then it kind of like sunk in that I'm gonna be put to sleep right now. Cause in my head, I thought like it was gonna be a minor thing. You know, I can wear jeans, I can wear my shoes, like it's not a big deal. And then the nurse came in and she gave me an IV. I'm still a little bruised. She missed and she said she blew the vein on this one and then they had to do it on this one. I actually felt pretty nauseous. I'm really fine with needles, as you can see. I have tattoos. I actually really enjoy drawing blood on other people and I have no problem getting my own blood drawn, but I don't know what it is about the IV. I've never had a needle put into my veins over here. So I don't know, it got really nauseous and lightheaded. So I changed, they put the IV in and I still had to pee. I had to wait a little bit. They set up the IV, gave me some fluids because that was the only kind of fluids that I could have because I couldn't have coffee, I couldn't have water, but they still told me that I really needed to pee or we're not gonna do the surgery today. Eventually I do, and I just thought it was kind of funny that I was just carrying around my little IV bag to the bathroom, my gown. After I finally peed, they led me, so I walked to the actual operation room. And that was another weird thing. Like in movies and in shows, they always have you in like a wheelchair or a bed and they wheel you off to the operation room. I wasn't expecting, I don't know why this is like such a weird thing in my own head that it was weird, but for me it was weird that, I don't know, just walking down the hall in a gown, holding my IV bag, like I was holding it, not even the nurse. And I just walk into the operation room and it was this big bright room that looks straight out of the movies. So I walk in and I sit up on this little bed that's probably barely the width of my shoulders. It was a very narrow little bed. And I'm surrounded by 4 people. I assume they were all the nurses, but I don't know. Maybe it was the doctor or the anesthesiologist was in there, probably. And as soon as I lay down, someone rips the buttons off the gown and starts slapping on the heart monitor, the little things for the EKG, the leads, the little sticky things, onto me. And then another nurse starts wrapping me really, really tightly, like a freaking burrito or a mummy. Wraps me with a sheet, and then she wraps me with a blanket. And then someone puts the mask on my face, but it was like kind of halfway on my face. And I just remember thinking, this isn't going to put me to sleep. I barely feel anything. Like, this is gonna be weird. Oh my God, what am I doing? Like, all these thoughts started going through my head. And then this other person started putting like these seat belts on me, and the straps were like this thick. And I remember thinking, like, why the heck are they strapping me to the bed right now? This is really weird. I've never been in surgery before. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't expected to be wrapped up in a burrito and then strapped to this little bed. And at that point, I probably had the mask for maybe 5 Mississippi seconds. And I remember saying, medical assistant. I don't know if someone asked me like my name or what I did or anything. I just remember saying, I'm a medical assistant. I would like to think that someone asked me what I did or what I do, but I don't remember why I said that. And then the next thing I knew, I was out. I was completely gone. My eyes didn't feel heavy. I wasn't yawning. I went straight from, oh my God, this is really weird, what is happening, to blackout, completely gone. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in another room and I'm guessing it's done. I was so confused. I had this really weird taste of like chemicals in my mouth. And I remember waking up to the sound, do you want water or juice? And I just had said juice. But I remember seeing my bag of belongings next to me, and in that bag was my phone. I was seeing double vision. I was very confused. I was very drowsy, but I clicked in my head, hey, you're filming. Grab your phone and record this. And as I was trying to get the pop socket up, I just dropped my phone, but like really dramatically. I remember like it kind of flew off to the side, and then I was just staring at it for a while, and I was like, oh. And I think I fell back asleep. And then the nurse came in, gave me my phone, and then she showed me the bag with a little piece of thing that they took out of me. And I told the nurse that put my IV in, hey, I want to see it. I told the doctor, hey, I want to see it. And then when I woke up, the nurse, I was like, where is it? Can I see it? So they put in a little biohazard bag, a little cup, and I was still seeing double vision. So I don't even think I got a really good look of it. I did ask the nurse how long was I asleep, and she said I was asleep for 45 minutes. But I got to the surgery center at 8:15, and I think I left at like 11:30. So that was the whole experience part of it. So now to like kind of explain what procedure I had done. Probably the majority of you aren't gonna know what it is, so I'm going to explain it. I have bilateral preauricular sinuses, or pits, or glands, whichever little last term that you want to use. And to get to the appointment of seeing the specialist, because I have TRICARE, I have to go to my primary doctor and get a referral. I made my own appointment online, and in the little what do you want to see the doctor for, I wrote, I have bilateral preauricular sinuses that I would like to get a referral to see a specialist to get removed. And I show up to my normal doctor, and the medical assistant didn't even try to pronounce what I had typed. And then the doctor comes in and she's like, I have never heard of this. I had to Google it before you came in. And I'm like, cool. That's how common this is. So going to the actual ear, nose, and throat specialist and him actually coming in the door, knowing where to look, knowing what it is, and knowing how to remove it blew my mind. I think it's genetics. It's sort of semi-rare to have it. It's even more rarer to have it on both sides. So basically what it is, it's a little hole. I should have took a picture before I got it removed, but so it's a little hole that kind of comes right here. I think it's technically a deformity. If you like kind of Google like myths to it, it's supposed to be like gills. So it's pretty useless. It's pretty pointless to have, and it's just kind of bothersome. My left one really doesn't bother me. That's why I didn't get it removed. I only got my right one removed. If you don't know what it is, like probably the majority of people watching this video, it's a little hole that drains. What does it drain? I don't know. It's kind of a pussy mucus. Pretty gross. Trying to explain it to someone who's never heard of it before or doesn't know what it is, it sounds like a really gross thing. But because I was born with it and because my mom had it, it's always been really normal for me. My right one has been bothering me pretty much my whole life. The left one's pretty dormant. I don't really bother this one at all. But this one, especially in the past year and a half-ish, kind of when COVID happened, I don't know if it's because I'm wearing the mask that it gets more irritated because of the location of it. But recently, in the past year especially, it's been getting kind of swollen, kind of tender, a little bruised, and occasionally drains blood, which isn't very normal. If you do have this, comment below how often you drain it or purge it or squish it, or, you know, how often does stuff come out? Forced or unforced? So this one is very problematic. I pretty much have to drain it 3 to 4 times a day, every single day. And the amount of stuff that comes out is roughly the size of my pinky nail, like the nail, or maybe like half the nail. Kind of like the tip of a pencil, like if you the circumference of the little maybe it's like a size of a pea, like a little bit, like half a pea. A good amount. I think that's a good amount to come out of your ear 3 to 4 times a day, every single day for your entire life. It's a pretty good amount of stuff. It's not so much like painful all the time. It's more of an annoyance. So I do still have stitches. I have 2 pictures, one directly after and one, I think it was like the next day where it was a little bloody. I have 5 little stitches. So that is my little minor surgery that I had done. There are some videos. If you want to see videos of it getting removed, just Google preauricular sinus removal, and there's some pretty in-depth video of it, and it looks pretty interesting. So that was my little surgery story. So it is the next day. I just got home from the post-op surgery appointment, and the doctor took out the stitches. I just wanted to add in a small little clip because I didn't think I mentioned it yesterday, but a few hours after I got the little operation done, I got a call from the doctor asking if I had any facial numbness and if I noticed any facial drooping. So when he called and asked those questions, I didn't really think anything of it because I just thought he was asking that because of the anesthesia. I've never been put to sleep before, so I didn't know really if I was gonna have any facial numbness. So over the phone, he mentioned that he was glad that we did it at the surgery center instead of the outpatient little small clinic because they have more tools there. If anything were to like happen, like you're at the surgery center. He didn't really go into detail other than it was more complicated than he had anticipated. I'm sure that I probably signed something of informed consent of what could go wrong, but I don't think I ever actually was talked to about what could go wrong before they cut my head open. If you have a preauricular sinus that you want to get removed and you found this vlog trying to see like what it would be like to get it removed, I just also want to say that mine was more complicated, that it was deeper and more forward. So the doctor said that he went like an inch inside and then forward and down at a 45-degree angle. So he went pretty in there, and he said that it was more complicated because it was deeper and it was closer to the nerves, and that's why he called and asked if I have any numbness or facial drooping. And because it was so deep, The normal cauterizing tool that they have at the outpatient clinic wouldn't have been enough because there was a lot of bleeding and they had to use a special cauterizing tool thing because of all the bleeding. And I was like, huh, wow, that's really interesting. He showed me on this little like skull of where it was and where he had to go dig it out, basically. And I was like, wow, you were like in my head. You're like actually like pretty good in there. The idea of touching nerves never even occurred to me, which is really stupid, I know, but it's just not something that I really thought of. I didn't think of the consequences. I didn't think that anything could go wrong because it's such a minor surgery. I just felt like I really needed to put this little clip in there because yesterday I remember saying like, if you have this, get it removed so you don't have to live with it. Like, it's not a big deal. And surgery is surgery, and especially if you're being put under anesthesia. Thanks so much for watching, and please give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.